everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Years ago, I taught scrapbooking classes online, and one of the classes talked about an idea called real world color. Real world color is all around us. If you get stumped for color combinations for your card projects or other crafty ventures, just take a look around. There are so many things, from funky dish towels to some art piece you just picked up and brought home from Pier 1 Imports. Pier 1, anyone? I'm dating myself. But the idea is to see things in the real world, whether it's nature, whether it's physical items, and use that as inspiration for your color palettes. For the first installment, here's my color inspiration. That's right, Olive and June nail polish. When I saw those three colors together in this Fall Box 2021 collection, I thought, that's a card project. I grabbed 3 Distress Oxides, and I had the color inspiration to start my card project. So stick around to see the card that I created inspired by 3 bottles of Olive and June nail polish. That video is coming up next. So here is the real world inspiration. When I got this new collection of nail polish colors, I thought to myself, these remind me of something. And that's when I made the connection. First color, prize ribbon, right? Or chipped sapphire, but I think I'm gonna go with prize ribbon. Second color, dusty Concord. Look at that. I just thought, and then the third color, Victorian velvet. These colors reminded me of this. I think there are so many great real world color combos that you can incorporate into crafting, whether it's card making or scrapbooking or any crafts that you have. That's the inspiration for today's card project. So, all right, I'm gonna bring that one in because that actually might be the color now that I'm seeing it on camera. So we've got those. Get our polishes out of the way because we don't need to be paying polish in our video. But these are the stamps that I'm going to use today, okay? I'm gonna use this set that I designed called Silhouette Sentiments. I also have the coordinating dies, and I think I'm going to make I'm gonna make a sympathy card because I feel like this whole palette, and by the way, I am wearing the color called Art Class. Art Class is on my fingernail, so I thought it would all coordinate beautifully. But I'm gonna use the silhouette stamp, and we'll just do some ink blending and just make a very simple card project inspired by real world color. Wanted to show you something else. I have this Make It by Marko blender brush holder, and I decided to go ahead and place another order with Simon Says stamp for their new brushes. The reason why I decided that I want to have a set of blender brushes dedicated just to my oxides. Now, I'm what you would call lousy with brushes. Lousy because they're like lice. I believe that's where the term came from. But I am going to set these up, you know, in my little holder in rainbow order, and now I have brushes, and I'm going to put a little I'll put like a post-it in case I get confused, but these will just be for oxides so that I never have to worry about cleaning. Yes, that's a luxury, but it's a luxury I'm willing to take on. I'm going to start with a larger piece of cardstock than I need. And I do this a lot, especially if if I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm going to create a little, oh, this doesn't look clean at all, but trust me, it's cleaner than it looks. I am going to stamp this twice. Actually, do I want to turn my paper? You know what? I might. The reason I want to do it this way is that I can make sure this is perfectly lined up on my base, right? Well, actually, you know what? Yes, because then this is how we got to do it. All right. This is all about science and math, my friends. We're going to start here, and let's see what happens when I pick it up. It is stamped there, and I move it over. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Stamping it here, and then moving it and stamping it here so that I basically get an overlapping pattern to have a full base of image. I don't know how much static is in the air here in the craft/dining room. Sometimes it's kind of interesting. Well, maybe I will hold it in place like that. Just how the air quality in your home can affect stamping and embossing with the powder. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's ink this up really well. Now, this is a cool stamp to do in silhouette, and I have done a card where I did a silhouette background. But for this, I want to create something that feels a little lighter and a little fresher. So we are going to come in here. I'm going to grab my stamp press tool, my Debbie, and just apply pressure. Now my stamp does look pretty dirty, and honestly, even if it transfers some of that ink that I used last time, which was a pigment ink, I think this should still stamp just fine. Oh yeah, it's totally clear. I'm going to roll the dice on this. Well, you know what? I'm going to stamp it one more time. Better to be safe than sorry? I don't know. Sometimes that's true. Again, Misty, right back in the corner. You're going to stamp it right on top. Next, I will lift it up. And then, oh, you can totally, I mean, I can see it. I know you can't really see it, but I'm going to go like this. And this is now in that corner. Now this is going to overlap, but I think that's going to be fine because it's kind of like whatever it covers up, it'll be fine. You can always build out a single stamp and make it, you know, a little more substantial. I could stamp this all in a row and create a slim line, right? But I think I have an idea here. All right, this did not move, so I'm going to stamp it one more time. I am loving this so far, and I don't even really know how it's going to look. But you know, sometimes I'm actually breaking out of my traditional approaches more and more lately. I think because I've just gotten more confident. All right, I'm going to clean that later. But right now, I'm going to move it aside, and I'm going to grab my little mat that I do this. Someone suggested this to me, and I have done this before. If it's staticky or humid and sticky, you can always run your embossing magic also over your little folded piece of cardstock. Now, this is just what I do because I just think it's easier for me than having like a tray. But I'm going to go with fine detail white. You know, you can do clear if you like. Sometimes I just go with white as a default, but here we go. I'm going to sprinkle this on to create our background. Like that. Just let it sit there. All right, or our image for the background of our card. And then let's just let it fall off, and you will see that. Wait, let's like that. See that? So I totally built it out and expanded. Oh, that is just cool. I could have even done it again, but I'm not going to. Okay, there we go. See that shine? All right, let's get ready to ink blend. Before I get into this, I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper. I'm going to take my two colors and I'm going to try them both because I'm not sure which one. And of course, I've never used the chipped sapphire, so let's just load this up a little with this brush, right? Pick it up. I'm just going to do this on a little scratch paper. Oh, you know what? I can already tell. I think that's the color. Because, let's put this aside. Let's get the prize ribbon. I just keep a little paper towel here to get that off. Let's take a look at prize ribbon. Like this. Oh, yeah. Yep. You can easily see, and that actually helps you see the difference between the two colors. But if we are comparing colors, we are definitely in that realm, right? All right, I'm going to rub this off because here's what I need to decide. Do I want to start with my purple to blue? No, I think I want to do my blue to purple to the pink or Victoria velvet, right? Victorian velvet, yeah. So we'll start with our chipped sapphire. I have my little Simon Says stamp positively everything tool, and this is just a craft mat from, I think it's from my Tim Holtz glass media mat, but I think I'm going to turn it this way. I think this will be cool to go in this direction. Let's just do it. Let's stop with the chatter. See, I love this pad because it will hold my ink pad, right? And I also like to have, you know, the ability, the reason I do this so big is so I have a little ability to kind of tap. And we're going to come in here from the bottom and just start adding our color. Like that. I am going to be trimming this for sure. That I know, and I think it's going to be a portrait orientation card. Let's get that, keep that going. And you just see that beautiful emboss come through. But of course, what we have to do now is we have to wipe off any ink that pools on top like that. See how that gets brighter and whiter? Like that. Oh, that's pretty. And I'm going to bring in Dusty Concord. And this is the color that I think is this nail polish. Like, it's close. You know what I mean? It's that sort of dusty, muted purple. Let's get you right there so you hold. And again, we'll christen this brush. I love that I can have this in here, you know, just for the oxides, because these brushes are just wonderful. So we're just coming in like that, right? Go over like that and add that beautiful color. And it really is, I mean, it might not be the exact same color, but it's definitely suggestive. You know, it's suggestive of that sort of muted, smoky tone. And we'll just overlap a little with the blue too. And I might come back in over these and do some more blending. But see how the white comes up like that? Isn't that pretty? All right, get my brush here, christen this little friend. Oh, it's so fun. One of the things that I want to do in the coming weeks and months is I want to do a little more. Now I should actually test this because oh no, that is the color I want. I want to get more experimental with my oxides and I'm going to come in from the top on this one. And actually, do I have a piece of doing this so I don't get fingerprints where I have already ink blended? I think there are just so many things that can be done. I'm starting up high because I don't really know yet how much I'm going to use of this panel. But there's just so much you can do with them, you know, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. All the distress inks are fantastic. I mean, each has its own purpose, right? I started with the regular formula, just the regular distress inks, and then got into the oxides. And really, it's just kind of, I feel like one of the things that happens, and maybe you can relate to this, you kind of get into these trends, right? Where you're like, oh, I forgot about this, and then you use that a lot more. I think that's how I feel about this. That is a cool combo. Isn't that cool? All right, let's wipe and see, because I think I need to do, I don't want to darken my upper Victorian velvet that much, right? Oh, that's pretty. But I think I might come in and do a little more blending with my purple, kind of create a little transition over that. The one thing I do like about oxides is the opacity allows you to layer colors over one another. So if you want to get a little more purple in there, right, you're good to go. And that's one of the great things. All right. Coming back in just with a little more blue. Let's close Victorian Velvet. And let's bring you up here like this. Yeah, Chip Sapphire was the right call. You know how it is. You gotta talk to yourself. You gotta give yourself those positive affirmations, right? I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And some people like me. Not everyone. And that's okay. If everyone had to like everyone, I guess we'd have a nicer planet. Okay, let's do the wiping again. Like that. Oh, that looks good. Look at that. Do we think that's a nice blend? Is that good to go? I think that it is. So I want to show you another little trick that I love, that I learned from a friend in the crafty community. His name is Daniel. And he taught me about this, where you take a little bit of stamp cleaner and you bring in a little foam brush, or you can do this with a paper towel, but I think I get a little more control with the foam brush. And here's what I do. I'm just going to spray a little on the mat, right? Like that. Going to pick it up, swirl my foam in it, and then I'm just going to go very lightly over the image. Don't press into the paper, right? You just kind of want to swipe. And look at how much brighter it got. Oh, that is just so cool. That is so cool. It really shows up on Oxides. Oh, I like that. Look at that. Isn't that great? Now we've got a beautiful image. I'm going to grab some water and we're going to do a little splatter. So I've got my number 4 fan brush, the Zen Royal and Lang Nickel. This has been one of my new favorite things for splattering. So all I'm going to do here is just swirl it around in some clean water, tap most of it off, right? And then, well, I think I have a little too much water. I'll start at the bottom and then we'll just start tapping at the top. Going up here like that. And it's going to give me the tiniest, the least amount of water you have on, you're going to get a tinier splatter. And this just kind of reminds me of like a summer dusty sky with fireflies. I think that's very cute. Oh, this is just making me so happy. And again, because I have this image to crop, I can crop it however I like. So for right now, I'm going to just let this dry for a second while I think about that. I have a little tip for you in the meantime. I keep one black blender brush, right? This is one of my original brushes for cleaning stamps really well, which I obviously didn't do last time. Here's what you can do. Spray on a goodly amount of your spray cleaner and then just use the brush that you keep dedicated for this sort of thing to clean it off. Just one brush, that's all you need. I clean my cling stamps this way when I'm done with my red rubber clings. And sometimes when I have a larger stamp or if a stamp that's kind of dirty, I will also do that. And it's just a great way to get the mucky muck off. Let's see how we did here. I think that's gonna look better than it did. Oh yeah, that's like a whole new stamp. So don't be afraid to use one blender brush to clean off your stamps. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the background, but I am filming during a storm. Yes, indeed I am. Okay, so here's what I'm wondering. Like, oh, it just hooked to my magnet. I am going to crop this down, right? That's the point of having, right, that little guy. But I actually think I want to go a little smaller like this. But here's what I don't know. I want to get enough of the blue in, right, like that. So we have, well, should I go over a little? Yeah, that's cute. Actually, I think that crop right there, I think that crop is really pretty. I've got this just taped into place with a little bit of purple tape. I'm going to pop my plate on and we're going to run through to get our lovely cut panel. I love these dies. I use them all the time. It takes all the guesswork out. Oh, look at that. Oh, now if you ever run through and something sticks to your plate, I always keep an adhesive eraser because once your plates start to get old, you know, they start to impress other things into your cardstock. So, you know, keep something handy. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's going to come off, but now I need to move on to the greeting. One of the things that has been very helpful to me is to take the cardstocks that I use. And granted, I use Simon Says Stamp, I use Gina K, and I use also Concord and Ninth, which I might have to go grab that one too. But I like to have these available for figuring out how to pick a card base. You know, because sometimes, let's see, is there a, I wonder what the, no, that wouldn't work at all. I'm just, ooh, Innocent Pink wouldn't be bad on that, right? But it's just a way to, you know, just sort of start playing with color and seeing, oh, look at that. Should it be blue denim? Can you even see that on my, wow, that's a tricky one. Like if this is where I play and I say to myself, right, is that the color that would be a beautiful card base? You know what? If I have blue denim, I think I'm going to make my card base and possibly my greeting from that. See, it looks really good at the bottom and it looks okay at the top. I'm torn. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm going to sit on this for just a couple more minutes. Nah, not that color. How about the greeting stamped on Wild Lilac? You know what? That could be pretty too. Oh, decisions. Let me grab my Concord and Ninth because you never know. Oh, wait a minute. Eggplant. What if I did my greeting in Eggplant? I almost feel like this has the, look at that blue though too. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, it might actually be Concord and Ninth color because look at that. That's elegant too. All right, I'm gonna grab these two pieces and I'll be back. So that is what Midnight would look like. Do you know why this is cool? Because it'll pick up that blue and frame it with maximum contrast. And oh gosh. I feel like this is more serene though, you know? Boy, I think either could work. I'm really torn. Where this is kind of bold and austere, I feel like this is more serene. And this color kind of captures the blend more. So you know what? We're going with this color. I'm not gonna lie, the nails and the paper, not a bad look. Okay, let's score 5.5. So this is going to be a top folding USA2 card, which will be 4 1/4 wide by 5.5 tall. Of course, it's very easy to make this if you start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet, right? You just cut them into 4 1/4 wide by 11, and you're going to get that. Oh yes. Okay, let's get some foam tape. Someone asked me recently in a video why I pop up my bases so often. And I think it's just because dimension, well, if you're Laura Basson, you say dimension is life, but dimension, it really does add something and makes the piece feel more substantial. Maybe even like a 3D craft project, you know, and yet you're doing it in card form. If you think about greeting cards at the supermarket, yes, there's obviously some interactive designs out there, but you know, most of them are, you know, a side fold and they're flat and they have their artwork printed on top. And I think what we as card makers love is the fact that we get to control the dimension ourselves. We get to make something that feels, I don't know, maybe even a little more alive, if that makes sense. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do for the greeting yet, but I do have a little scrap of the eggplant because, well, actually, I have an idea. Let's get the backers off here. Let's pop. Oh, sometimes that white throws me off. Okay, let's look at the top, the bottom, side to side, and mount. Oh my goodness. This is not a combination that I would have ever pulled to use. So let me get my Misty back out and we'll stamp a greeting. I'm going to take both Thinking of You and I Am Here for You. And the reason why is sometimes when I'm stamping, one stamps better than the other. And if that's the case, that's the one I'm going to use. It's not that I have catchphrases, but in stamping, I like to say always have a backup. You always need a goose to your maverick. Let's powder up really well, like that, right? Because we only want our embossing powder to stick perfectly to our clear ink. I think those look straight. I hope they're straight. Well, it doesn't matter because we are going to die cut. But here's the thing. I don't want to press too hard. I don't want to smush down these greetings. So sometimes when I do this, I'll just bring in my pressing tool and just give it light pressure. Let it transfer. Don't get too aggressive. Right, like that. And then you can see, I think I was a little aggressive, but I think it's going to be okay. My little area here seems so neat and clean, but seriously, the craft / dining room table is a hot mess. It's a hot mess all the time. Oh, that's good. Let's do it a little more. I think, well, did I get I Am There well enough? Well, we'll see. I don't want to tap too hard because I don't want to tap any extra powder off that needs to stay. I think I do just for a little bit here. I like I Am Here for You, but I also like Thinking of You. I don't think you can go wrong with either when you are creating a card for sympathy. You know, I think I did push that down a little too hard, but I think I Am Here for You looks best. So let me grab the die for that. I'm going to go ahead and run that through my die cut machine. I'm going to take a Jerese strip. I think this, let's go up where I can see this a little better. I think this will work, right? Hold that down. I think it will have all the clearance that it needs in the body, right? One a little long. Let's snip that at the end. Like that. And now I have a nice bit of dimension. I'm going to be putting it right at the base, right? Because I think that it will pop down there. It's coming down, right? So it's grounding. I think that's pretty. Okay, like that. All right, loving that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the liquid glue on here, the Connect glue, just so that I have a little bit of playtime before this completely adheres, because foam tape is sticky, sticky, sticky. And let go. I actually think that's great. And here you just need to make sure you're focusing on the baseline, not the Y that dips down, which is called a descender. And now, I think that's straight. How does that look? Oh, I think this is so simple and so elegant, right? It doesn't need anything else. I mean, I know we like a little shine and we like to boop, but I think for a card like this, I would keep it very minimal, very understated in that regard, and not add the shine. So that is my finished card, inspired, right, by real world products. How fun is that? I mean, and what I want to tell you too about color combinations and color schemes, you know, color is challenging, I think, sometimes. And I, as a graphic designer, I've worked with color for years and I've always found it challenging. Like, it's never been an area that I felt really confident in until I started crafting, to be honest with you. But look around you in your house. Look at like dish towels or placemats or really anything that has been designed by someone else, and look for patterns or ideas that you can take to your next card project. I hope this has been inspiring for you, and I hope to do more real-world color inspiration videos soon. Thanks for watching. You can find all the supplies linked below the video, and I'll see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.